Alright, welcome to day 37 of the Vera Series. And so far, no level increase, so it might not happen until patch 2.3 unfortunately. But starting out, you want to go to casual, and then you want to go to building, so that way you can go to your artificial island. And then you want to go back to casual, hit building, and then hit claim, because remember, you can only hold these resources for 24 hours. On top of that, don't forget to clear your enemies. I'm talking to me because they reset Monday, and you want to make sure you do your exchange store and buy all your weekly items. But while we're talking about the casual, don't forget about fishing. You want to go to the store, and remember you can only get 350 bait for the week, so you might want to go fishing a little bit, level up your rank, and buy some better bait, so that way you'll at least be ready to fish next week. But it is optional. Next, you want to do Mia's Kitchen, and you want to do your 4 bounties for the day, and I'm going to go with the Aspera. Next, we got Vitality, and starting with joint operations. So for today, we got access to Bracer's Chest and a Shiro Matrix, Pants, Hands, a King, and a Crow Matrix, and we can do the Sadness Valley. So these are actually some pretty good dungeons, but I think the best are going to probably be those gloves dungeons and maybe trying to get that crow matrix. I might even use a few vitality solutions here just to get some better gloves. Next, you want to take a look at interstellar exploration, and remember you want to check Vera as well as check Aspera, so that way you can get all of your Stargates. And how you can tell if you have a level 3 Stargate is if this weapon battery category has a number 3, it's a level 3 Stargate, but if it has a number 2, it's a level 2 Stargate. But if you don't have any level 3s or level 2s, you can always do dimensional trials. And the nice thing about this, you can do multiples, or space-time domains, which do the same thing. But if you're pressed for time, you could always make Omnium Beacons. Then we have our optionals, and that is giving gifts to your 1.0 characters. And the best way to do that is to go to the black market, see this island, and do the claw machine, and to knock out your 2 trainings for the day. But remember, unfortunately, you still have to go to a training machine to find out the max ones you have available. But what is not optional is you want to do your 8 fun zones. And if you can, try to do your 6 Greyspace fishers. But the most important is doing the Twilight zone, but you do have an 8-hour time limit, so you could wait. If you need help on how to do any of those, I got a guide on my channel. You also don't want to forget to do your appointed research, because remember, you can only hold a grand total of 20 and you get 5 free energy a day. And I recommend that you do the new appointed research, so that way you can get those micro reactors. But if you enjoyed these daily guides, I would greatly appreciate a like, so that way these can spread more on YouTube. And since we are approaching the end of the week, don't forget to do your security force weekly, so that way you can get that 300 Mira and 150 Vera coins. But I did find out some more information about the racing. So if you go ahead and talk to Liana, you can go ahead and click on the leaderboard. And right here is going to give people's rankings, and you can click on the question mark and it tells you what you can get. Even if you're not the greatest racer, as long as you can place somewhere within the top 100, you can get 400 Mira for the month. So it may not be bad to race a little bit, so that way you can maybe get in that top 100. So now let's talk about events. So you want to make sure that you're collecting your supply run by logging in every day. And now let's talk about the new event, which is terrible for free-to-play players. So essentially what you do is imagine a Pokemon battle. You can basically level up your boss. Now, if it was this boss versus the other boss, it wouldn't be too bad. What ends up happening is you have to attack the other person's boss. So guess what? It ends up turning into a whale battle, because most whales will have most of the limited banner characters, max matrices. They're able to easily kill these bosses, whereas a free-to-play low spender can't do much damage to these bosses, because if you take a look at my boss, I have over 1,000,000 HP and I have a lot of resistances. On top of that, it's a level 50, so I even get another HP boost. So most people will not be killing this very fast unless they're a whale. But if you do want to know how you level these up, it's basically when you open a password chest and rusted iron chest and you do your bounties, you get these points which you can use to level up your boss. So to make this event worse, you get points on how well you do. So most of the time, whales are going to kill the enemy's boss in 3 seconds, whereas free-to-plays are going to probably do like 10 damage to the boss. So whales will get 560 points, whereas free-to-plays will get 10. So if you're a whale, you could AFK a couple matches to make up for it after your 2 wins. So free-to-plays, I recommend that you don't play this mode. One I think is eventually going to unlock, and you're going to be able to do that, so I recommend that you either do that, and hopefully this mode is not as bad as this one, because the store does offer some pretty good items, and hopefully they at least kind of fix it to where free-to-plays can get these points fairly easily. Then I want to let you guys know about the Advent calendar. Hopefully you're part of the Tower of Fantasy Discord. There's something to where you can react and you're going to eventually get a free code. And it looks like they just kind of give out free codes every day. So for today's code, we got this, and you can just put it into the exchange section, so that way you can get some free rewards. Next, we got our weekly tabs. You want to do enough things down here so that we can get everything up top, which brings us to our challenges. So if you're trying to do something like the Bygone Phantasm or Frontier Clash, you might want to save your Mia's Kitchen so that way you can power yourself up. But starting with the Bygone Phantasm. So again, I recommend that you take a look at this weapon bonus. If you have a good weapon bonus, you might want to do the sneak to next level, and if your CS is high enough, you're going to be able to jump up 11 levels, as long as you beat that floor. But the biggest thing that's going to determine your score is Sequential Phantasm. If you get a high score here, you should be able to get the top rewards for the week. Then we got the Critical Abyss, where you have a daily limit of 7,000. But again, this is something that you don't have to do, but you can get some crystal chunks for getting this type of currency. Wormhole, you got 4 days to complete this, and you want to try to do that so that we can get that energy crystal dust. Raids, you want to make sure you do the last 2 on Heroic, and you do Battle Test Area on Heroic so that way you get the best rewards for the week. Void Rift, this is the first time boss for you want to go ahead and knock that out. Frontier Clash, we got our last attempt for the week, so you want to go ahead and knock that out so that way you can get those pieces of gear. Break from Destiny, you want to make sure you do this at least 1 time so you can get those 800 dark crystals. Apex League, if you're trying to reach Grand Marshal, you might want to put a couple hours in each day. Then we got our daily buys, so you want to go to Shop, Hot, and then buy your 2 Vitality Solutions, only if you can afford it. But for me, I got 100, so I'm going to pass. But if you can, I would try to get the advancement modules and the booster modules for the week. All right, so now let's talk about the limited gift packs. And I'm just gonna go over pretty much the Christmas stuff, because if you wanna know more about how worth these limited gift packs are, I made a guide earlier that tells you how worth each of these are. So the best deal is the Christmas Eve pack, because it's essentially 75 Tanium for a red nucleus and a special voucher. On top of that, you get a couple little extra things. Then we get to an okay deal, which is the Christmas limited weapon lucky bag. Now this is 132 Tanium per nucleus. It's not the greatest, but you do get this standard lucky bag. And how this works, imagine that you have Mero, Shiro, and Huma on your account, but they're not fully starred. So you're going to get a random copy of one of those 3. So for me, since the only standard starred character that I don't have is Huma, I'm guaranteed to get Huma. And now for the pretty bad deal, the Crow Matrix Lucky Bag box. So you're essentially spending 480 Tanium to get a Crow. And how this works is it looks at your account, and any of the Crows that you don't already own, you're going to get a random copy of that one. So I have 2-piece Crow and no other Crows, and you can buy this 2 times. So if I bought both of these, I could get those other pieces of Crow. But I mean, I don't really need any more Crows since I already have a 2-piece. I could try to go for the 4-piece, but personally, I don't think I want to spend 480 Tanium just to get a Crow. But if you don't have any Crows on your account, this may not be bad to pick up. And the last warning, if you're a whale and you already have a 4-piece Crow, there's a chance that you could get a random Crow of a 3-star that you already have. So for whales, I think you should pass on this one. And the last one is the Christmas gift box, to where you're spending 580 Tanium for outfits. And if you compare that to the gacha events, that's actually a really good deal. And I'll quickly mention the special voucher box. It's pretty much the same as this red nucleus large pack, basically 119 Tanium per nucleus or special voucher. So it's actually a pretty good deal, since you do get some booster module 2s and a couple raid attempts. So now let's talk about the commissary, starting with the Crystal Dust store. So again, you want to buy your advancement modules, your booster modules, and your very special gift for the week. But when it comes to your Potent Omnium Crystal, I recommend that you pass, because you should be able to reach an 8.3, even 8.4 suppressor through exploration alone. But what you can do with your golden Crystal Dust is buy a good pair of boots. If you have a good pair of boots, then you can buy hand guards, and if you have a good pair of hand guards, then you can buy whatever else you want. Spacetime store, you want to buy your booster modules, advancement modules, and data repeater for the week. Crew store, now the only thing you want to spend your points on are relics, and the relics that I recommend are Spacetime Rift, unless you have a level 3, or Omnium Shield. Support store, now you want to make sure you buy your joint supply chips, your Spacetime Crystal Fragments, and your Spacetime Crystal Dust. And then when it comes to your return support points, I recommend that you try to get these Spacetime Crystal Fragments. But you do need 2,000 a week to make sure that you buy all of this using return support points, which is hard to get. So if you do want to try to go for return support points, I got a guide on my channel. Point store, now the only thing that you want to spend these points on are spare special gifts, so that way you don't have to do training, black market, or see this island again. If you need to level up your matrices or weapons, you could always buy matrix data packs or weapon batteries. And I already talked about how to get this currency from Critical Abyss, which you can use to buy clusters. But besides that, I would just explore the new areas, and I would definitely try to explore the new districts, so District B and District C, because this gets you a lot of those new materials for appointed research. And if you are exploring and you're having some trouble 100%ing Mirroria District, I came out with a video earlier today, so hopefully that helps you. But besides that, talk with you guys later.